Are we live
Good
in the Pit
morning,
City?
everybody. I think we are. Yes, good morning.
What up, Deeds? Happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday. What day is today? November 14th.
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 Yeah,
All day.
all day.
Twice on Friday. It's your
Yeah.
boy, Jason Gulick. I am here with my co-host, Mark Deeds Klodzinski. And our guest today is a fine gentleman, Mr. Michael Draper out of Expert Safety Services. He's the owner and the man who takes out the trash at Expert Safety Services in Illinois. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Michael Draper. How goes it today on this fabulous Friday?
Hey guys, good man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's early, but I'll try to be cognizant.
You're good. So
Enough
let me
coffee.
ask.
Just get a cup of
I was
coffee in you.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
fine.
just gonna say the same. There you go. He's going Dr. Pepper
Caffeine.
this morning. Needs
Yeah.
what's in your cup?
Pike's Place with some sugar.
Pike's
Heck yeah.
Place and some sugar. I'm a Trenta cold brew, 2 pumps caramel, 2 pumps vanilla, add shot, baby. There we go.
Stay up.
So,
Goodness.
Mr. Draper, what's new, man? How's things going?
Oh, it's great, man. Just plugging along. It's getting ready to
Plugging
be
along.
training season, and training season for us really starts first part of December. And for our training division with Expert Safety Services, we start to get busy from here, on into the spring. So, yeah, ramping up.
Awesome.
Awesome. When you do training, you have multiple different types of training. What are a couple of the different types of training that you guys focus on?
Yeah, so us specifically, we have a training facility, and we open that facility up to other venues like the PWNA with the pressure washing and stuff like that. They may put on classes there, but us specifically, our training is all focused on at-height work. So we conduct the IWCA RDS rope access class. We do mobile aerial work platform training, and then we're also an ATI for Approved Technical Institute for the Scaffolding Association, and so we,
Oh,
we do competent person with suspended scaffolding as well. So basically at height. If it's at height, we'd probably train it. And then we also, because of our sister company, Expert Summit Anchors, we basically asked Expert Safety Services to put on and conduct a qualified person, competent person for anchor testing and inspections. So those are really the four classes that we offer ourselves. And again, at height work.
so what got you into safety in the first place? Are you a window cleaner? Are you a builder? How did you get into this?
Yeah, so no, I was a window cleaner. So I owned a company. I started in the window cleaning industry when I was 16.
Yes.
And so I worked for a buddy's father when we were in high school. And then we graduated. My buddy went and started his own company up on the Illinois-Iowa line, the Quad Cities. And I went up there with him, helped build. And then at that point in my life, window cleaning wasn't what I was going to do. But I returned to window cleaning in 2001, and started my own company in Bloomington, Illinois. And then we sold that company in 2014. So in 2000, after that, it was a situation where we'd done well with the sell, but I was still young enough at the time that I was going to outlast my proceeds, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, I needed to do something. So we started getting into the training and consulting, and it just kind of one thing led to another. It started off just as kind of a hobby to do training, and obviously, with my background and being from the industry, I could speak to window cleaners, I could speak to window cleaning companies, and yeah, it just resonated very well. And then it's definitely morphed now into grander things with our software that we own and our anchor company. But that's how it all kind of started and worked out.
That's awesome. So you started, it's so funny because one of the first things you said is, I started as a window cleaner, didn't want to be necessarily a window cleaner, thought I was going to go somewhere else. So that's kind of my same story. Now, obviously, I'm not doing a safety, that's not my jam, but like, how many of us got into window cleaning and in the beginning, didn't really necessarily think that that's what we were going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, um, yeah, I had kind of other ambitions, some business ideas and things that I wanted to pursue, and so I went down those paths. But ultimately, just when we got to Bloomington, just seen a very service-rich environment here, and it still is really. But at the time, State Farm was booming, and a lot of dual-income families here, and a lot of folks they don't do anything themselves. They don't mow their own lawns, they don't clean their own,
Yeah.
do their own windows, and
Sure.
so we seen that opportunity and we seized it, and yeah, it was a nice venue, and then. Yeah, I always joke now I'm in too deep to get out. So, I built a lot of contacts with being in the industry through the IWCA. And then also I worked for a period of time as the vice president of sales and marketing for Jay Racenstein.
Oh,
Oh,
gotcha.
And so that really gave me a well-rounded piece as well. I had both the technical piece of it, I had the sales, the product. I knew kind of the industry as a whole. And so that's just all that experience has lent itself very well to what we're doing today.
yeah.
That's
That's pretty well rounded. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. I guess the question would be, who don't you know, Mike?
I was watching Shark Tank one time, and who's the guy? I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but the guy that owns the Dallas Mavericks or did.
Yeah,
Mark
Cuban.
Cuban.
Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban says, he says, well, I'll tell you this much: there's not very many people that aren't going to take my call.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
in the industry, I mean, I think that's pretty well. I think I know the players, I know who the businesses are, and for not in a cocky way, in the most humble way. I think I have a pretty good reputation enough that somebody will take my call.
So
For sure.
you're dialed in. That's one of the like I like to use that term. Like you're dialed in. You know the players. That's another nice way of saying it. All the big hitters are going to take your call, and anybody who really wants to continue to grow in this industry probably wants to speak to you at some point or another. I had the fortune of catching up with you very briefly in Vegas. Um, and one of the nice things that I've noticed you go to most of these events, right?
Well, I go to a lot of them, and that's just part of staying in touch.
Yeah.
They're expensive to go to, but I again, it's hard to speak and teach, especially to the contractor, if you're not kind of with the contractor and understanding what's going on in the industry. So, that's why I was telling you guys I didn't make it out there because I was at the ANSI 359 meetings. I mean, I'm always going to be in the know. I mean, that's what I get paid to do as a consultant and trainer, is to be in the know. And so I have to stay relevant in that way. And so I'm gonna stay at events, and I'm gonna stay on these, committees and safety committees and things like that, so that I know the pulse of the industry.
Super important. And I admire that about you, and I think it's super important to keep your finger on the pulse. And that's basically what you constantly have to do when you're in this industry. Speaking of being on the pulse too, just to let you know, we have Damien in the building. He's checking out the viewing. Craig Hensel's here. Our friend John Magnus is
Wow.
here. Squeegee Tom, Charles Smith, Chuck is who we like to affectionately call him. Um, who else? Oh, Sean Hart was here as well. So a bunch of our good friends are popping in to say good morning to you as well.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. They're all I know most of them, and a lot of awesome dudes there. So
There are, it's kind of like what you just mentioned. It's like we're fortunate as we continue to do these episodes and bring our friends and wonderful guests on. Our viewership continues to grow, but it's really cool. We still have like a really solid base of 5, 10, 15 guys and gals who come in and join us almost every morning. So, not necessarily staying relevant, but continuing to have guests like yourself on come talk about what it is they're doing really keeps all of us dialed in and informed. And so I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to come join us.
oh, no problem, no sweat at all. I'm
So
happy to do it.
you mentioned trainings coming up. How long are your training sessions? Where are they held? Are they held in multiple locations? Is there specific dates coming up that you think that we should be aware of?
Yeah, I have a gal that kind of runs my calendar for me. most of the time, a lot of the classes are 2-day classes
Okay.
because we do focus so much on hands-on. So, and we also, in all of our classes, kind of separate of maybe some of the other classes that are out there, we spend a great deal of time on, what I call catastrophic events. And so therefore catastrophic events lend themselves to rescue. And so
Yes.
whether that be on rope, whether that be on a lift, whether that be on a suspended scaffolding, we have to plan for what could go wrong. And then, in my opinion, a true professional, a true artisan in his craft knows not only just how to do his craft, but also to safely get out of any issues that he may be in.
Correct.
I kind of experience it to a pilot. A pilot, a true pilot knows how to get out of a tailspin. A true pilot knows how to get out of, how to deal with crosswinds. And so the same thing when we're dealing with these things, it's easy to go up and down a rope, but what happens if the main line severs? It's easy to go up in a lift. That's no problem. They make them to go up and down, right? But what happens if the lift catches fire? Suspended scaffolding the same way. What happens when a line breaks and you're suspended there on your rope? Most people thought the scaffolding was going to hold them, but it didn't. Now I'm on the rope. What am I going to do? So we really try to plan and train for those events, and because of it, it does take a couple days. So our training's kind of two-phased. One, we have companies that hire us and we go out to them, right? And so
Yeah.
larger companies, lots of guys, they will typically look at the situation and say, it's cheaper to fly Draper to us for our 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 people than
Yeah.
it is
Then
to put 40 people out to Draper. All right. So we have that piece of it. But what I always want is I always want the smaller guy to have access to training too.
yes.
So if a guy only has 1 to 2 guys, he can't afford to fly me out. And so what do we do for them? Well, that's where the training center comes in. So what we do is we take these ones and twosies and threes or whatever, and we put them all in a room together of
Yeah.
12 or 15, and we say, hey, you all have access to it, but you're going to have to come in for it. And that really, helps the expense for those guys as well. So those classes, the easiest way to find those classes, rather than me rattling off a bunch of dates, is expertsafetyservices.com. And then you're going to see the ESS Training Center. And then all of our dates and calendar events are on there, and you can follow them, track them, and see what's upcoming.
I'm going to plug it in our little group chat right here. I want to make sure I'm getting it correct. Expertsafetyservices.com.
/events, I think will get you there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's up in the chat now in case anybody does want to check it out.
I appreciate it.
I think if my memory served me correct, you have one coming up December 8th and 9th, I want to say, and then maybe like an anchor testing on the 10th, something like that.
Yeah, so
Uh,
what we're trying to do also is we understand that travel's expensive. And so we're trying, a lot of guys at year end, their certs may be coming up.
mhm.
So what we're doing is we're calling them super safety weeks, where we're doing 2 days RDS, 2 days suspended scaffolding, 2 days MEWP. So you can come in
Damn.
Nice.
1 week, get it all shot out, get it done, and then you're ready to rock and roll again for another 2 or 3 years.
One-stop shop.
Yeah.
And how long are certs good for, you said, usually?
Yeah, it depends on the issuing body, but generally 2 to 3 years.
Awesome. Deej, you ever done any drop work? You ever done any scaffold work? You ever done any?
I've done mountain climbing, like rock climbing. So I've been on ropes. I've never ever done a commercial, rope drop or anything like that. Like I said, it'd be pretty awesome, but safety training is obviously critical. I couldn't imagine trying to get up there and just having some guy show me how to do it, like on the first day of work. That's crazy,
So-
but people do that, I'm sure.
Yeah, they do. And I'm actually one of them. When I was, getting started back in 2003, let's see, what year is it? Yeah, 2003, 2004. I worked for my buddy Billy Sloan's dad. His name's his name was Alan Kislavage. And he owned this company out here in Phoenix, Arizona called All American Window Cleaning. And he was like 90%, 95% commercial, and 5% residential. And so they took me out and they would show me how to do buildings and this and that. And I didn't even know how to set up a ladder. But I'll tell you this much. One day they took us out to a 6-story building and used a counterweight system, and I just rolled my partner Billy on the top of a roof. And first off, I'd never been on a building like that. Billy was never trained other than by his dad, who had been doing it however he was taught. You know what I mean? Like, so I was up there and we'd finished that job and I told him, I'm never doing that shit again. You're my
Yeah.
best buddy. What happened? This is exactly, Michael, what you were bringing up. Like, what happens if something goes wrong? I'm going to be standing here with my thumb up my ass because I don't know how to help my friend.
Yeah, you're at
So,
least you can call 911. That's all you're good
no,
for
because
instead of
back then I didn't have a
trying to
cell
save them.
phone player.
Good point. Yeah.
In
Let me run
2003, I
downstairs.
didn't have a cell phone. I might have been
Yeah.
lucky to have a pager still. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
and that's really the industry. I mean, that's where we all came from was, somebody somewhere in whatever state
yeah.
said, "Hey, tie in and we'll throw you over today and we'll just monitor you and we'll watch you for several days." And then that's what happened. I mean, when you guys had Fletcher on Monday, that's I mean, that's his story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The company takes him to the top and says, "Hey, we're going to tie you in. Don't worry about it. You're good." And then, again, he has a catastrophic event, and it's sad, but I mean, it's where a lot of us came from. Let's just be real.
Yes.
That's just the way it was. That
Product
was
of the 80s.
training
Yeah.
program. So
Well, now we're officially ready to get into the 2020s and in late 2020s, and I think safety has become something that is really brought forward into the forefront of our industry. Thank goodness. Um, and guys like you that teach other guys like us to become more safe and also continuously bring it up. You know what I mean? It's like, and if you see something, say something. It sounds corny. And sometimes, obviously, you don't want to put people on blast if you see their stuff online and be like, "Oh, you're missing that or you're missing that." But if it is somebody you care about, you would want them to know, right?
yeah, and I try my best not to. I gave up when I first kind of started this. I'd get on the post or whatever, and I'd try to educate. And of course, you've got 9,000 opinions and
Yeah.
clicks and know-it-alls on Facebook. So I kind of give up educating Facebook in that type of forum. I will, if I see something blatant and I think the person is genuinely interested in the right way,
Yeah.
I'll PM them. And that's kind of was interesting. That was the way Fletcher and I met. Was my son put him on blast.
Yeah. He told
Yeah.
me all about it, man, and I love it.
Yeah, and so he was a little upset. He texted me and says, "Do you know this guy?" And I said, "Yeah, I know him. He's my son." And so I apologized to him and said, "Yeah, that's typically not the way we do things." Connor was
Could have saved his life.
yeah, yeah, it may have. And but at the end of all that discussion, I mean, there's this long, text string of him. He was angry, and then he was kind of coming around, and I could just see that he was serious about, wanting to do the right thing.
Yes.
And I said, "Hey, uh, so apologies on all that, but by the way, he's right."
Yeah.
So what do you want to do about it? Do you want to continue to look like that because you're creating all this content, or do you want to do the right thing? And
You're presenting it to thousands of people.
right, and yeah, I heard him say. Draper said he had to just quit watching my content. It was true. I was like, I'm done with this guy. They're using the old school stuff in Nashville and these great big buildings and yeah. And the whole reality is a lot of times, just like he said, though, it's not the guys' fault. It truly wasn't. It wasn't Fletcher's fault. The company that was training them or doing whatever, that's whose fault it is at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, we just try to point things out, and I know safety's not always popular, and I get that people don't like hearing what they're potentially
Doing wrong.
or or what they could get hurt for. But honestly, I don't come from it as a police officer. I really come from it as just I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I love this industry. I've been pretty successful in it, and I don't want to see anybody's family be impacted. And I've seen enough through the 30 years I've been in it. I've seen guys that have fallen, and it could be off a rope, it could be off a ladder, but the impact on the family is major. It's not just the guy, and that's what I see sometimes on posts. I'll see somebody say, I can do what I want to do, or I screw OSHA or this and that. I get all that, but it's not about you. It's potentially about what you leave behind, right? And it's a train wreck. When you go out, a lot of these window cleaners and pressure washers and that, they're sole operators. And if they get hurt, the impact to their family income is monstrous. I mean, it becomes non-existent. That's how impactful it is.
Yes.
So that's really where I try to come from is, hey, let's just think about this and let's, yeah, everybody has certain amount of risks every day that they go out and work, but let's try to mitigate them as much as possible. Let's go home at the end of the day. Let's enjoy the weekend of whatever we like to do on the weekends. Let's make sure that that weekend is happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you brought up Fletcher. He was a great guest this week. One of the most down to earth, chill guys that are in the industry. Um, I had an opportunity to catch lunch with him this past summer in Nashville, and we are just sitting there bullshitting. And you were basically a lot of the topic of what we were talking about. Um, you he speaks extremely highly of you. He spoke highly of you on the show, in our personal conversation as well, about how much, you've been a mentor to him. Can you tell me, who have you looked up to? Who are some of the
Mentors.
guys that have helped you along the way?
Well, there's a lot of guys. I think about, it's interesting because oftentimes we get pitted against each other. But early on, if I look back into the rope world, um, I a person that was really beating the drum saying change needs to happen was Jeff Scott.
Nice.
And Jeff, he didn't like the politics of the change, and so he kind of went his way. And I understand that it was tough at the time to get any voice of difference through to anybody, but I always appreciated what he did, and what he pushed to do was to affect that change. And ultimately today the RDS safe practices from the that we rewrote reflect a lot of what he was beating the drum about years ago. And
Yeah.
so
Cool.
he was an inspiration. And again, we oftentimes get pitted at this point as competitors, and that we don't like each other. I have nothing but the utmost respect for him. He was in a lot of ways, I guess, before his time, and people weren't listening. But
Yeah.
what he had to say was very accurate, and he's a very good trainer to this day. So he was one. And then there's just so many mentors that I learned from in the field, so far as business acumen and things like that. But the one people that I learn from all the time is just the average Joe window cleaner. There's not a class that goes by that I don't learn something. If nothing else, just the mentality of how they're thinking, and that's, if you can understand how a person's thinking, if you have insight into that, then you have the best chance of affecting change. It's not through rules and beating or whipping somebody into shape. It's, what are you thinking? What's happening here? What's really going on? Okay, and now can we affect change through that mental process?
That's about the most quality answer that I could have received. Damien mentioned Jeffrey Scott, good dude. We had dinner with him in Vegas. Uh, we were in Nashville, and I got an opportunity to meet him briefly as well. Um, I was really, when we decided to do high rise and safety and whatnot week, I was torn too, because I kind of wanted to have both of you guys on. Jeffrey comes into the show from time to time. He pops in. Um, so I would like to have him on as a guest later on down the road as well. But I knew that between you and Fletcher, it'd be almost a no-brainer to have you both on the same week. So I have respect for Jeffrey as well too. And it's really the way that you express that is quality. It's like, look, man, people think that we're like at each other, or we're actually like, against each other and this and that. But the reality is, you're like, look, man, he's kind of helped me get to where I'm going. And that's called humility, Mike. And that's a big thing, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, he was before we were doing training, I had my company and we had went through a train. I don't remember where he had put that on, but our guys went through a training, and that's when we switched. We switched from back attachment to front attachment, and there's been some progressions forward, but um, yeah, no, it was I remember all the history and the politics of the orgs and the standards and all this stuff, and yeah, no, he's an awesome dude. You're not going to take anything away from the skill set of Jeffrey Scott. I mean, he's a level 3 Sprat, and I don't know what more to say. I mean,
He knows his shit.
he knows his stuff. So
That's another nice thing too, is I love when other guys can talk highly of other people. You know what I mean? Like we're we're all trying to get along and do the right thing and help our industry. If that's really what we're trying to do, then we want to talk highly about others. We don't want to bash, you know what I mean? Then we want to lift up, we want to promote, and we want to help others in our industry. You know what I mean?
no,
Um,
that's it. And also we said this when you hear this a lot when you're cleaning glass. You hear there's how much glass is there in a town? I mean, there's tons of glass, right? There's not enough glass that can't keep everybody busy. The
Yep.
reality is, if Jeff or myself were the only trainers in the United States doing this, we couldn't accomplish it all. There needs to be about 15 more of us. And I know I'm not going to speak for Jeff, but I'm getting older, and I don't know how much longer in this that I mean I'm not leaving tomorrow, but I'm just saying, as you get older, there needs to be a younger group coming up and trying to do some of this training. And so we couldn't do it all if we wanted to. But the change that is happening specifically with RDS is just I don't know if I thought when I started down this path if we would see the rapid changes that are happening this quickly. And so that's something I'm pretty proud of. But I do shout back to Jeff on that and say thank you for beating the drum when the drum wasn't popular. So.
That's like I said, that's one of the things that I admire about the people that we bring on is oftentimes, we can give others a shout out. And that's big of you and big of our industry in general too. Damien and I and Mark and some of us use the term game recognized game. Um, I just that's something that I totally appreciate about you and our industry. So
And the
uh,
reality now is, I mean, just sitting on ANSI meetings and things like this, I mean, there's going to be more changes. And I don't know that I think that I'll be a part of them, but there's a lot of things being questioned right now. And just because we've said things for years or we've put things in writing for years, so far as standards are concerned, one, technologies have improved greatly.
mhm.
We don't have if you're still taking a fall from a 6 foot fall factor, you've been pretty negligent and don't have much training at this point. So we have shock absorbing lanyards now that we didn't years ago and all this stuff. And so even the whole 5,000 pound is being challenged a bit. It's like, do we really need to talk about that number? Because you know a rope descent guy, for instance, a rope access guy that's on a front attached lanyard, I mean, he's going to be challenged to get to 900 pounds. So do we really need to talk about 5,000? So there's going to be a lot of changes. I mean, technology's changed and techniques have changed. And so, you know, that's probably where, as I wind down my years, again, I'm not ready for the graveyard yet, but
Yeah.
as I look forward, I mean, that's where I'm going to have a very, you're going to see me a lot there and have interest in that type of thing versus maybe the hands-on training that's happening. So, um, but at any rate, yeah, you always have to look and see who they all were.
Yeah. This is a couple months down the road. Are you planning on being at the IWCA this year in Orlando?
We'll be at the IWCA. I'm teaching a couple of the classes there, and yeah, I'm hoping that's a combined event, IWCA and PWNA,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I'm hoping that that's a huge success. I've wanted to see that for years. There's not very many window cleaners that aren't doing pressure washing, and there's not a lot of pressure washers that aren't doing some form of window cleaning. I mean, it's pretty much become a building cleaning, industry.
Yeah.
And so to have that trade show where there's pressure washers and window cleaning and all this stuff all under one roof, and to have the one thing I will say about the orgs, maybe different than the huge or whatever, is the 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 guys that have been in those orgs for years. The reason I always went to them is because I wanted to talk to the guy that had 40 people running. And most of those guys, they're not on the Facebook forums. They
Oh
No.
yeah.
care
Nope.
less about that crap. They're not doing it. And so, but the knowledge that gets spewed at one of those events, because I wouldn't be viewed as a competitor, I could go and talk to the owner of, Jenkintown or whatever in Philly,
Yeah.
and he's got 90 guys running out in the field, and I can sit at the bar with him and talk back and forth. Well, how do you do this and how do you do that? That was always just major in my
Yeah.
mind. A lot of multi-million-dollar players at those events, and they don't mind sharing. That's what they're there for. And so I look forward to those two groups coming together. I mean, I'm looking for a big event. I think it's going to be, and yeah, I'll be there for sure.
Awesome. I can't
We'll see
wait.
you
I
there.
know that Deeds
Yeah.
and I are planning on getting there somehow, some way. Deeds, are you going to bring your fam this time? Or are you going to fly
I think
solo?
so. We're gonna do the whole. We're probably gonna go to SeaWorld, Legoland, do a Magic Kingdom day, and I'm gonna do training. It's part of my thing. So we're still ironing out the details on the dates, but yeah, we're taking the family. Yep.
Nice. Michael, one of the things that you just brought up was people that you meet there. I'm a single op guy, or I was. I have one guy that works for me now. And at my first huge, I was fortunate enough to run into a gentleman named Gary Craneshaw. And Gary Craneshaw runs an op out of Olathe or Olathe, or I don't know how you say it, Kansas. And his company is called Heart of America.
Hmm.
Gary actually lives in Arizona, but the company is out of Kansas. And we start chopping it up, and he's telling me all this and that. And he's got like a 35-man operation. And I get an opportunity this summer to take my trip. And because I've never seen an operation like that, I thought it was like I needed to. I needed to see what it was like to have a big ass crew like that, have guys on multiple sites, and like how do you plot that out? How do you organize everything, And in one day, he took me to three different sites and showed me, I think, five different applications of window cleaning, right? Ground guys, construction clean, boom, drops, water fed, and
Awesome.
all on massive ass properties, all in one day. And I'm
And
like,
all those trucks were cleaner than yours.
for sure, for sure. Um, definitely. But he had it all on lock. And I was just like, how? And of course, Gary didn't have it all on lock. His guys had it on lock. But it's kind of like he had obviously gone through the
Systems,
progression
right?
and the age. And yeah, so now once you have the people that you can trust put everything in order, it's kind of like you said, I don't see Gary out on Facebook blasting it, putting stuff out there. And he's usually on the golf club course, chatting it up with the guys from Squeegee Squad or some of these other big companies. And so it's hilarious, and it was funny to me to see like how much growth there is or opportunity there is for small guys like me to continue to grow. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how and where do I want to go with this? And that's
Yeah.
what all of us really have to, or not have to. That's what the majority of us get, that option and get that opportunity to grow in this industry. Where do you want to take it?
Yeah.
Um,
And it's not all, everything isn't, I mean, I appreciate exactly what you're saying, but I will say, what I think everybody has to look at individually is what are they trying to accomplish? What's their
yep.
goal and mission individually? Because if you talk to Craig, if he's on, he would say, I am fully satisfied and fully happy with just being myself and Grace out cleaning, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Hell
Yep.
yeah.
You can probably
Less
be
That's
headache.
the that's the
very
dream.
profitable, no headaches. If that's the dream, then man, live it. For others, and myself included, I wanted to scale up a bit. That was my drive. I wanted to have multiple guys and multiple trucks, and so that was my drive. But whatever it is, just figure it out in your life and just say, hey, am I happy with this? There's pros and cons to either way, but it doesn't really matter from the business side. It just matters what's going to make you happy, you know?
Yeah.
What's making you tick? And then make it tick.
You absolutely nailed it on the head. You mentioned also too, like, hey, I'm not I'm not going to be doing this forever. I'm not exactly planning an exit strategy at this time either, but there are still some certain things that I want to do before I get done, doing this business or whatever. And dropping is one of them. I wanted to travel the country and meet some window cleaners and learn from different people. I want to, not wanted to, because I still haven't done this. I want to get the proper training and do at least one, one building of drops. I want to tackle a large commercial building and do one on waterfed. And I did some of that with Mike and Zane this summer out in Oklahoma and Arkansas. And I flew a drone. Was it this week? Like that was pretty wild. I'm checking all these little boxes off of my bucket list of things to do while I'm in this industry. And it's if you put yourself out there and you ask the right people and you ask the right questions, a lot of times you can get it done. And that's the great thing that I found out about not only the home service industry in general, but specifically our industry of window cleaning.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, we go down paths all the time. I mean, I've went down a couple paths even inside of expert safety services, and we get about halfway down the path. I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. Cut this down. I mean, I'm pretty known for I move pretty fast, but I'll shut something down fast too. I mean, in a heartbeat. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Japanese say the first, if you know you're going down the wrong path, get off the first stop and just go
yep, we're
back.
out. So, but yeah, it's always good to just at least know about it, understand it, and um, see.
Well, you can always, and like you said, if you try something and you realize it's not for you too, you can get on out, get on out.
Yeah,
So I think it
exactly.
is important for us to try new things too, to develop um, new strategies and just to continue to grow. And if you ain't growing, you're slowing. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, no, agreed. Um, yeah, I mean, it's again, it just matters what makes you tick, right? And
Yeah.
uh, there's,
What,
go ahead.
when's the last time you had squeegee in hand on glass, like cleaning? Not necessarily for money, but when's the last time like you were actually did more than 10 minutes of cleaning?
Yeah, well, it's been a minute. I mean, I do stuff in the training center, right? So we
Yeah.
have a window cleaning set up in there, and I still play around. Um, my sons have a couple accounts that they still play around with, but yeah, no, it's been a while since I was cleaning for dollars. Let's put it that way. It's been a minute. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think well, probably yeah, 2014. I mean, that's when we sold the business, and I guess I did a little bit after that with some glass polishing and that, but for the most part, anything so far for profit, it's been a while.
Did you have a go-to setup or a favorite brand, mop and or squeegee or both?
Yeah, I was an Ettore brass guy, and I liked a Leggies handle, so I was traditional with the leather holster. I wasn't really a Boab guy. I used I would wring out my mop and kind of carry my mop with me, and then I would wear I always wore carpenter pants, and I
Oh
would
yeah.
use the for a residential I would the leather
Loop.
holster, and once I cleaned a window or whatever, I'd put it back in the holster and I'd kick the squeegee down into that plier pocket so that basically it couldn't drip on carpet or anything. And so
Smart.
yeah, traditional Ettore leather holster and brass channel with a Leggies. That was my go.
That's hilarious. My partner, Billy Sloan, I've mentioned him tons of times on the show. He takes care of a lot of the stuff for me out in Phoenix when I'm either doing this or taking my kids to school. When we first got started, I'd never really seen a Boab. Like you know what I mean? Like 20 years ago, I didn't really see them around. I also really didn't see very many window cleaners around. You know what I mean? It wasn't a huge thing, especially residential, but 20 years ago. It just wasn't happening constantly like it is now. Um, but he used to always bag guys. He'd be like, "Oh, that you're carrying a thing on your belt." He'd call him all sorts of names, and actually, that was the first time I ever heard of a bucket Bob. And he to this day he still doesn't use a Boab, and I'm like, Billy, just fucking put it on. It makes it look a little more professional. You don't have to worry about water dripping and this and that. But typically, he's usually outside, so. I even gave him a decent Boab, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do it." But I think I might get him a maker one just as, let him try it out and be like, "Here, go bust this out," because it is one of my favorites. It does make me feel a little more professional, look a little cleaner. Plus,
Yeah.
if you're cruising around people's neighborhoods and backyards without proper like logoed
You don't look like a window cleaner
identification.
without a Boab, you know.
Right.
Yes. So
Right.
like if you're going in someone's backyard and you're not wearing a Boab and you just look like a sketch ass dude, at least this way you have something that identifies what you are.
Yep.
So real quick, you mentioned about the Ettery brass. Fletcher pops off. That's because he's old and Ettery was that's all that's around.
Yeah.
That's probably true. But I was remember I worked for Racenstein, so I got to see all the products and feel all the products. So Sorbo was another one I played with, and like my guys that I had about 14 guys at one time, and they all loved Sorbo. We bought Sorbo, but so far as me starting out, yeah, it was Ettore Brass.
Nice. Well, listen, I know that you have a hard out at 15 after.
Yeah,
So we're gonna go ahead. What we're gonna try and do now, and what we like to do on our show is give our guys a couple of minutes, our guests a couple of minutes to give a shout out to anybody they want, or let people know about something that they have coming up in the future. Deej, do you have a couple minutes to stick around after, or you got to run?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I just got a window job after this. I told him I'd
All
be
right.
there. We're good.
So we'll let
yeah.
Michael do a little shout out and get on out of here so he can get out. But like I said, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? Is there anything that you'd like to tell people that about an event or anything you got coming up? Direct them to your website, anything. Let us
Yeah,
know.
no, yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I didn't come on with an agenda or to self promote, so most people know where to find me, expertsafetyservices.com. So, and our events are all there. So I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate the support too of a lot of the industry, and nothing makes me really happier than to see some of the changes, to see some of the the things that we've all been working so hard. A lot of stuff that the guys that are trainers like myself, or even Jeff Scott and all that, the amount of work that gets put in behind the scenes to try to make these classes and all of that, it's astronomical.
Yeah.
And so the reward for it all really is it isn't the money that we make or whatever. It's the fact that we get to leave behind an industry that was hopefully a lot safer and better off than when we started. And so that's the reward of it all. And so see guys, younger guys like Fletcher and them, moving in that direction, and they're gonna continue to beat that drum, and even Damien and some of those others that are out there. It's good. It's good to see. It's very rewarding, and I just appreciate the support that everybody gives. It's awesome, and I appreciate you guys having me on this morning.
You got it,
Thank
brother.
you.
Well, we'll go ahead and let you get out of here. But before we do let you get out of here, I want to say thank you for joining us. I know that it's a busy week. Fridays are usually tough for a lot of people too. Time change is a little tough as well. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for going to these events that you go to.
Yeah.
You did mention IWCA. You
PWNA.
know, if your training will be before the IWCA or during or after, because that might be something.
So something cool, because it's a dual event and both organizations offer a rope class. What they're going to do is they're going to combine those, and they're going to do it both days. So there's
Sweet.
going to
Okay.
be one Wednesday and there's going to be one Saturday. So
Cool.
that's at a really cool facility down in Orlando at Elevated Safety, and so we're looking forward to that event for sure. And so yeah, we'll hopefully see some people there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's
if you do
important.
if you do
Safety
see
first.
me, Sometimes I get busy and I'm kind of, just kind of focused at those events, but walk up to me and say, hey, yeah, let's meet and kind of keep the industry moving forward.
Sounds
Awesome.
awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you joining us. You can go ahead and get on out of here.
Good.
I hope to see you. If I don't see you, well, I will see you in February, but I still want to try and get out either December or January to one of your facilities, one of the things, and get some training under my belt, see how it works, and just let others know. I've said this before on the show. Mark and I, we're window cleaners, power wash, pressure wash, gutter cleaner, Christmas light guy. That's him. But I think it's important for us to be well versed in all of this information. So thank you for giving me the information that I need to better relay it to our friends, and I appreciate you for that.
I see a Goo and Deeds broadcast from the ESS Training Center. How about
Oh,
Oh,
that?
awesome.
Yeah, that would be
We could
cool.
do that.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
we
yeah.
could definitely make that happen.
We can suspend you both by ropes, and you guys can sit there in your harness the whole time and
I'm
broadcast
cool with it.
live. All
I'll
right.
wear a space diaper. I'm good.
All
Not
right.
good.
Have
I drink a lot of coffee. That's what I mean. I drink
There you
tons of
go.
coffee.
All
I'm
right,
Camelback.
down.
guys.
I'm down as well.
Let's do it. All
We'll
right.
talk soon about it, and we'll get it lined up. Indeed, it sounds like that's an invite, buddy.
It
I
is.
love it. Cool.
Let's
Thanks,
rock and
Deal.
Michael.
roll. All right, let's go. Talk to you guys.
Appreciate you,
All
Michael.
right.
Have a great day. Deeds, hang tight. Let's wrap this show
Yep.
up here. Hell to the yeah.
Cool. Yep. Space diaper it is. Although I'm not driving from a state to another to kidnap somebody.
Yeah, that would
That's
be
a
a little
NASA story
crazy.
from the 90s. But yeah,
Yeah.
so happy Friday. Happy Friday. Michael was awesome, full of information, always advocating for window cleaners for the ANSI certifications and stuff. He does a lot for our industry. So he's a really cool guy.
He sure is. And you know what? It's awesome to hear, him basically relay the information. It's like, look, if you're not getting it from me, get it from somewhere. Just be safe. You know what I mean? It's like he wasn't one of
Well,
the
he's
great
humble,
ones.
and
Yeah, and he's
it's
like,
just
look, I
like us
don't have an
window cleaners.
agenda. So
He had brought it up like we can't teach everybody. We can't clean all the glass. There's 1,000 homes in my neighborhood. Even if all 1,000 of them called me right now, I'd have to
not jumping.
disappoint 900 of them because I couldn't do them all.
Flavor
And
sugar.
that's like safety, just like Jeff and Gabe. They both do window cleaning, basic introduction, and business coaching. But they both
Right.
work well. They network together, and they get along well. So, it's cool that guys can get along together, and even competition in some of our areas. We've got guys that we can call to come help us out on a job or to field questions or stuff like that. So, getting good with the guys and take care of yourselves. It's important. With
Yeah,
Michael talking
and
about. Go ahead.
no, you finish it
How's
up.
it? Michael talking about safety. Today I've got a window cleaning job, and I'm going to be using my Cougar paws and possibly the what do you call it? Shit, the ridge hopper thing where I can stand on a roof just so I can clean 3 windows and then get back down. Uh, what Michael does with the safety, he teaches the high rise, the anchoring and stuff. I've had solar panels where I probably should not be on the roof or be anchored off or something like that on anchors. So even as us residential guys, it is important to touch on different trainings and stuff like that to really immerse yourselves, So
Yeah.
get the safety equipment, get the trainings, even for like Christmas lights. I didn't just watch YouTube and go cut up lights and start putting them on people's houses. I took a clip of course. I flew, after the huge convention, got the training, got the hands-on, got the know-how, and then got the ball rolling. So yeah, never hurts to train. But what do you got on the agenda today? How's your day going? What's up with your Friday?
Today's a little weird. So this week we did pretty well. We have got a lot of shit done. But today we're basically off. We have storms coming in tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, good day Thursday, and a small chance of rain on Friday. So
So
we're like already juggling next week. You know what I mean?
yep,
I
can't
changed.
put something down.
Yeah. So I had a nice gig we have a really good gig on Monday. The lady is aware that, hey, it's supposed to rain on Monday. She said, let's go for it. And I said, look, we'll do it. I'm not offering a rain guarantee. I will offer you she has a 2-story with a bunch of screens. I said,
Yikes.
I will do a spot check for lower level windows. But we'll go out, we'll take care of it on Monday as long as it's not pouring down in the rain.
Yeah.
Tuesday we had a gig scheduled that I already proactively reached out and said, hey, it's not going to happen. Let's just put you on the board for Thursday or Friday. We have good stuff going on Thursday. So I'm just trying to get the week done right. I should send you some pictures of how it is. Get our week set for next week. Tomorrow, Saturday, ASU homecoming. It's supposed to rain. My family wants to go out. We have the tickets. Parade. I don't know if it's gonna rain or
Parkas,
dude. So we have
ponchos.
we have ASU ponchos, and Maurice is like, I got to get the ponchos out. And I'm like, my wife is straight hardcore and
My
dedicated.
wife.
Yeah, Maurice is hardcore and dedicated when it comes to ASU football. There's not
Sure.
very many things that she is as dedicated and gangster about, but ASU football is one of them. We are a Forks Up family.
How does she have a collection of Beanie Babies? Did she get into that?
No,
Okay, then that's all. Because
nope.
if somebody gets into a football collection, I think maybe
She's got
Beanie
all
Babies.
sorts of. We have. She's got a purse
Oh,
collection, a shoe
I forgot
collection,
the Starbucks cups. That's it. That's
Starbucks cups. We
yes.
got those. Yeah. So
It was a red cup yesterday, everybody. So if you got your holiday drink, you got a free little red cup at Starbucks. Very nice.
real quick, Cody Smith. Yes, you can. You can always send me whatever you need, buddy, and I'll always answer you to the best of my ability. And if I don't have the right answer, I will find out for you.
Somebody who will, yeah.
I try my best to not give shitty information.
Yeah, shitty information is not good.
No, try to get some close-ups too to see how dirty they are.
Hey.
He probably just missed me saying that, Cody. Yeah, send me whatever you need, and I'll take a peek.
I cleaned a front door this week. Well, actually, I had a horror story this week. I cleaned a front door, and they had like these little cut-ups, and I thought of Thomas Wilson, Squeegee Tom, because all his cut-ups he does all the time, all his French panes. So I just felt really, really gangster because it was all these big panes on this house, like 3 foot. So I was using my big sword bow, and then I get to the little pane in the front door. I'm like, having fun. Yeah, Squeegee Tom, because that's all he does, with his homes.
Yeah.
He's got like 900 of those goddamn things. But Jessica's got a Beanie Baby collection. Cool. I've got a Peace Bear that I'm not sure if it's rare or not, but it's sitting there. It's sitting there. But yeah, so today I've got a water-fed pole job. I've been trying to knock out all these jobs before I start really getting hard into Christmas lights, which I'm starting this weekend. I actually started the other day, but got a call in the job yesterday. I had 2 driveways and a gutter cleaning. Got a call from a lady's husband who they approved a window cleaning job on Sunday. And so I sent him a text, I'll get you guys scheduled later this week. And I forgot about him. So I get a call saying, hey, this is Karita's husband. Just making sure we're on the schedule. We have a party tomorrow. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about you guys. Let me check my schedule. So did one of those oh crap moments, got him on the schedule for this morning. And I quoted him sight unseen. They're getting the basic water fed package. But I looked him up on Google again, to the front of the house to see what kind of ladders I'm bringing if they got screens. So I emailed her, told her, it looks like you've got interior removable screens. Hope somebody's going to be home type deal. So she emailed back about 20 minutes ago. No screens in the house whatsoever. You're good. So I should have a pretty sweet day. Probably don't have to get on the roof with the cooler paws. So, could be nice, quick and easy. Then after that, I got a gutter cleaning, and then it's going to start rolling right into Christmas lights. It's that time of year, and that's what I do. Christmas lights. It's fun.
This time of year, you identify as a Christmas light. Where the hell did you get that as a Christmas light in the car?
That's right. You can get that at the Home Depot. I got them last year. I got 2 greens, 2 reds. So I use this bad boy as a traffic cone. So I'm pulled over on the side of the road. Got my shit out, clean the windows. This goes behind the truck, one in front of the truck, and then your typical regular cone just to make sure I don't get a cop pissed off. But yeah, let's get this up here. That's
Dude,
what's
you
up.
should hollow the bottom of that thing out and then put it on top of your head and start doing some installs with it as like a hat. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, well, I don't know if my neck's strong enough. This thing's pretty top heavy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's got batteries in there. I mean, yeah, I could totally wear that, or I could pop this off and put my face in there for a while, and don't get me ideas, Goot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I might actually do them. But
that thing doesn't light up, does it?
Oh, it sure does.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, but I don't have the batteries in them. I took them out so they don't rot out in the off season.
Gotcha.
Takes 4 D batteries, and then it lights up bright enough where it looks pretty on the front porch. So my wife's like, I'm taking the red ones, you take the gray ones. Because I like the red ones as traffic cones, but they look better in front of the house. So On top of that, I don't even have my Christmas lights up. So that's how behind, I've been really busy and working. Oh yeah, second thing, the window cleaning job with the squeegee Tom windows on a golf course. That went really well. Customer tipped well. Halfway through the wash, I'm like, I had to wash their house. Their brick was really dirty, so I'm doing the soft wash, and I smelled something. Long story short, is as I was done with the job, wrapping up the hoses they paid, the husband was outside. He ended up like sparking the GFCI.
Oh
It
yeah.
ended up smoking. So his breaker went in the garage. He ended up calling the electrician. I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, my bad, But in my terms and
Yeah.
conditions, I talk about that, and they were really cool. I even talked to the wife before it happened, so I guess I made it happen. The point is I went to start my truck, and my battery is completely dead, so I had to play 2 hours of playing NIP, driving to AutoZone to get it charged and all that, and worrying if it's an actuator in the door or something like that. Well, I'm outside their house with a trailer. I got other. This time of year I can't have any downtime because every day I got to get to work and do stuff. So,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
we're making up for summer. You know
Well,
what I
yeah.
mean?
The slow days in summer, I'm not turning anything down this year.
So you want a little story on, you kind of just gave a little, hey, this kind of happened. So last
Yeah.
week, Friday, I offered a job, sight unseen too, kind of like what you just said, way underpriced, do the gig. I'm on the job and I'm cleaning glass. I've already cleaned like 2/3 of the house on a ladder, getting something off of this one piece pane of glass. I knew something was weird, like there was something weird about this window. Please don't do that, babe. I'm actually doing something. Thank you. Um,
Thank
so
you.
I take the steel wool out. I give this gunk that's on the glass a scrub. There's 3M tint on it on the outside that I didn't recognize. Like I was just in a fucking blur, right? You know what I mean? Like you're just jamming. You're
Sunglasses.
yeah, you're already stressed because you're not paying attention and you underbid the gig. You're just trying to fly through. So I scuffed the tint. Um, I didn't know that it was tinted, and so I ended up paying $210 to get a new tint. So
Woof.
cost of doing business, baby.
That's it. Cheaper than an insurance claim.
Yep. And yes, I did get my tripod Magdos. I got it all. Magdos was out there that day. He came to visit, actually helped me out a little bit. I'm hoping to see him today too at some point, maybe.
Cool.
We'll catch up. Our buddy Gabe Gutierrez.
Yes.
Gabe's going to be in town in about 2 hours. So he and I are going to catch a lunch, hopefully grab some tacos, some menudo. I'm going to take him to one of the local Mexican joints downtown. Should be good to go.
Cool.
So, hey, Fred. Where's
Awesome.
Fred? This
Good
dipshit.
morning, Fred.
Yeah, good morning,
He's happy
Fred.
to be here.
He is happy to be here. So, let's go ahead and wrap it on up. You got anything big that you want to discuss real quick before we get out of here? You want to give anybody a shout out?
Just be safe this weekend, guys. Whatever you're doing, you're putting up lights or cleaning windows, do it safely. Think twice about moving your ladders. Just take it easy. I'm going to
Take
be
it
busy
easy.
this weekend. Being careful, being slow, being safe. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Michael Draper, for coming on today. That was awesome to hear about, everything you're doing for the industry. Keep it safe. We've got Jason. Look up, remember Jason.
Yeah.
We got Michael helping with the ropes and Jeffrey Scott. But yeah, thank you, Goo, for tuning in here Friday again, for being on the
Hell
show
yeah.
and co-piloting
It's
it.
my pleasure, buddy. And you are the co-pilot as well. You're running everything. You're producing. Kylie's helping us do stuff. Your wife,
My
she's helping
wife.
us get stuff out on the promos.
Hmm.
So I want to thank Fletcher for being on this week. Michael Draper. I want to give a shout out to our guy right here, Panda. His organization out in Oakland/San Francisco, the Bay Area. They've been going through a tough time with the loss of a loved one. So shout out to them. All of our friends in the industry are just amazing people. We tend to look out for one another, check in on one another. And this show in particular has helped me realize how close of a brother and sisterhood we do have. What an amazing group of men and women that are just part of this industry. So I want to give a shout out to every single person who's ever popped in, even just to
Thank you,
say
everybody.
hi. Yeah, even just to say hi. Thank you all. You guys are
Was it?
fucking
It was T Squeegee this Wednesday on Squeegee Life. It said that we're like the Good Morning America of the pro window cleaning group. So I like to be part of everybody's morning. Hopefully we'll be doing like a weather report or something here next week.
Well, that was a nice thing of him to say.
It was very nice. It was a nice shout out. So thank you.
Yeah, T Squeege's kicking ass and taking names. There's a couple other people too. Zero and WCR have supported us when it comes to allowing us to, put our stuff out in the pro window cleaning forum.
Mhm.
It's been awesome. There's over 40,000 members in that forum. I want to give a shout out to also to Jake Van O and James Riley and the guys in Window Cleaning Nation. They're kind enough to let me throw some of our stuff out there as well. Just in general, our industry kicks ass.
Yep.
Next week, we already have our guest booked.
Who do we have?
Shit. I just got a brain fart. Who the hell is it? Oh yeah. Cody from Renew Glass.
Class Renew.
Is I think Wednesday. And then our guest for Friday is drum roll, please. Hold on. Let's see here. Steve Williams. He is the ISCA founder. So
Nice.
next week, Cody Thomas, the owner and founder of Glass Renew, and then Steve Williams, the ISCA founder.
We're going to talk about not scratching 3M tinted glass.
Fuck you, Deeds.
Yeah. How to buff it out.
Oh,
Save
I love you, buddy.
You could save $291 by not cleaning that glass with steel wool.
Yeah, I learned another lesson. Just to slow down, pay attention to what you're doing, and if something doesn't feel right, double check it.
Yeah.
Don't just jump in on it. So
I've been putting Christmas lights and doing gutters every November for the same guy for a couple of years, and he's got a backsliding door that has a sticker on it that I'm not going near that says low E tint glass. And I'm like, nope, not even gonna. And I see it. He's never peeled it off. He's never messed with it, and it's been there for about 4 years now. So it's officially caked on there, and I hope they don't call for me to try to clean it or release it because it's been there a while. And if it's the tinted side, I know better now.
No,
don't touch it.
It should have been on the inside anyway. So whatever.
Inside, it's wrong. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in again. Happy Friday. Make it safe. Hopefully you're busy this weekend getting those windows cleaned with good weather. Shout out to John Magdos. Hopefully you're feeling a lot better. And thank you, everybody.
Heck yeah. Deej, you kick ass. Kylie, you do the same. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Stay up, stay gold, change your rubbers, and I hope the passion buckets are full. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a good morning.